Good evening, Matthew.
Hello, sir.
And welcome.
And welcome to NPR.
Da-da-da. You are now listening to the Gamers 2 podcast.
If we sounded like NPR, that'd be spectacular.
Get out. Go home. Actually, you know what? We're just going to call this episode right here. Matt's already made one dumb comment. We're shutting it down.
Listen, their sound quality is amazing.
Sound quality, yeah. Their level of excitement or anything is lacking. I find your level of excitement lacking.
Whoa.
Memes, quotes, and references. Anyway, Matt, what are we doing?
Gamers 2 podcast, February 22nd, 2019.
The year
Of
of
the pig.
our... Yes, it is the year of the pig. Oink, oink, motherfucker.
Yeah. Keyboard thing. That's the only reason why I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only reason why.
I think I knew that from something in Overwatch, but I don't remember if I am just making that up. I might be lying.
Are you familiar with Ducky, the keyboard? They make keyboards.
No.
They do every year they'll do like a limited edition keyboard that's like the year of, you know.
Yes,
Like this year's the year of the pig.
a lunar keyboard.
Last year was the year of the dog, I think.
That sounds right. Monkeys and
Dragons.
bears.
Oh my. I keep going to reach for my glasses, so I don't have them on my face.
No.
I'm like in a weird place right now. I have this like headache. I don't know where. I feel like I don't know if I'm getting sick or something. I don't like it.
Can't wait to contract whatever you're about to give me.
We're not going to go down that path.
No, we can go down that path. Preferably with not either one of us. Zing. STD joke. All right, so what in the last 7 days, as is normal proceedings around here, have you been doing?
Not much. Played a little Anthem. That's about it. In a state of flux, as it were. I'm kind of in the middle of a setup transition. Because my mouse is literally falling apart at the seams. But
Real quick, I just want everybody to be clear. He says he's going through a setup transition.
yes.
He's changing mice.
No, I mean, I'm changing desk. All right, it's a whole thing. All right, it's a whole thing. Because I got the new mouse, and I got the new mouse pad. The new mouse pad does not fit on the desk. The desk is too small. Can't go get a new desk. Yeah. Can't go and get a new desk because everyone's got fucking conflicting schedules. And by everyone, I mean the significant other.
Yeah. The best part is you literally mean the significant other because Dewey and I offered to go with you and then went, that would probably piss her off.
Oh, it definitely would. So yeah, I've just been like chilling and then playing Anthem with my controller because that's been satisfactory. And then just watching a lot of anime, doing the anime thing. Added another one to the rotation.
I was snapped, I believe, during anime night.
Yeah. Did
People I don't know are now part of anime night.
No.
See how it is?
No, there was who? There was no one else there.
I don't know who Emma is.
Oh, that was trivia night. That was trivia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you guys weren't at home. You were at a booth somewhere.
Yeah,
which I'm almost more offended by. I wasn't invited to trivia.
Every Monday.
I'm sorry, did you want to win?
We do trivia every Monday at Killer Brew, but it's Amy's thing. So like I don't invite people.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, Amy won't invite me.
And Samantha's gone more than I have. I've dipped a couple nights, but Emma's one of Amy's coworkers.
We should
who
go.
Likes anime, which is
that's because that's what you told me about it. That's why I thought it was anime night. But then I realized you guys were sitting in a booth, and I was like, maybe they went to dinner. I don't know. But that would also be this. We're completely into like bonus episode talk, but it would also be funny for us to show up, not participate in trivia with them, go sit at the bar, secretly form our own team, my favorite team name that I've always used, that I've always played under. I'm not gonna say what it is because heaven forbid Sam ever hears this. I don't want you to know it's me. And then if we ever win anything, we just never react. Just keep going about our day, just drinking, eating food, and never react the entire time. Be like, so how'd you guys do?
We're generally pretty terrible. Usually Amy's roommate carries us the entire time. And like we'll throw in random answers every once in a while, but yeah, that's usually it's usually pretty bad. They have some regulars that are really annoying because they show up and they are like,
what's their name? Their team name? Do you know?
There's Lord Fairfax is one of them.
Nope, don't know them.
And then I can't remember the other one. There's another one that comes all the time, and they just always win.
Yeah, there's only a couple groups that I know by name that I've ran into in numerous trivia circuits.
I'm sure this one you probably would know, but I can't remember what it is now. So
maybe. Anyway,
I think I sent you a snap of Love is War.
Yes, you did also send me that.
That was like some wacky intro.
Something crazy was going on,
Yeah.
and you're like, and I was just like, "Yep, no idea what I'm looking at."
So, funny story about that. I was watching that particular show while I was doing dishes the other day, and it's the first time that I had a situation that I had actually had in real life be in an anime as
Oh
like
my
a ridiculous thing.
You became r/anime IRL.
And it was frightening because they were like, basically this girl walks by, it's these 4 student council members, and the girl walks by and the kid's like, oh, did you change your conditioner? Because your hair smells different. And he's like, it's nice, blah, 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 and says this thing. And then they all turn and look at him and they're like, that was creepy. And I had that happen to me once where this girl that I used to work with changed her perfume. And I was like, oh, you changed your perfume. It's very nice, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, that's creepy, which obviously it is. But at the time, I was just like, oh, I'm just going to be nice and compliment her on her perfume that I've noticed is different. So that was fun. Nice little story. What else is there for animation? All the other normal stuff. Added in this one called My Roommate is a Cat. You'd probably appreciate it for obvious reasons.
Wow. I don't know if that's a low dig at me or not.
No, it's actually a really good anime, and it's not anime cliche in any way.
Just because I live alone with a cat, Matt. Thanks for
It's about
the
this
reminder.
guy who hates
lives
people.
And lives alone with a cat?
And he lives alone, hates people, tries to avoid them at all costs. Also a writer. And that's his life, his profession. And he meets a cat and decides to take it home because it inspires him. And then, obviously chaos ensues.
Right. So remove the writer aspect, and I don't see a difference.
I mean, there are some subtle differences, but...
Murder? You don't know that.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Murder for you. I mean, his parents are dead, so that's kind of a thing. Like that's.
I can be Batman. Catman.
There you go.
I am Catman.
And then
Where's the catnip going?
we are continuing watching the Orville. We are into season 2. It has gotten significantly better.
Well, that's good. Power to you.
And that's it, other than, Formula 1 testing, which I'm excited for.
And I have chosen 2 Formula 1 teams to cheer for.
Yeah, 2 good ones. I think they were good choices.
Nate is in on this Formula 1 thing.
Yeah. He's picked Alfa Romeo and Renault. Both
for funsies.
Yeah, both solid choices this year. Also underdogs, which makes them very fun, I feel like.
Which is what I'm there for. I couldn't go for, Ferrari.
I know, you pick like Mercedes, it's like okay.
Yeah. Lewis Hamilton. I'm like, oh yeah, Lewis Hamilton's really fucking good. Like no shit, but like I like when I play racing games or car games. I've usually not disliked Renault cars or Alpha cars. They just end up not being like stat wise what I end up needing to use. But when I'm looking at them, I'm like, hey, these are pretty good, fun cars. Like I would drive around on one of these if I wasn't in America.
Yeah.
Not that really bodes anything together, but tell me the last time you saw an Alpha in America being casually driven.
It's never.
Right.
Well, not in our area.
Yeah, no.
Kimmy said something really funny during testing the other day. Someone asked him how his it was like his teammate or his test driver, how they were doing. And he said, I don't know. Why don't you go ask him? I'm just here to eat ice cream.
I love that Kimmy's just kind of over it at this point.
Yeah.
just because he's still good.
He's like the old man of Formula One.
Get off my lawn, dude. I don't give a shit. That thing's cool. I drive it. Whatever.
Yep.
I get paid half my check, and then the other half is tubs of ice cream. What do you want?
The Iceman, as they
Iceman.
say.
Give me Iceman reckoning.
So there's another week of testing at the end of February. And
First race is second week of March?
Yes, in Australia.
I might have done a little bit of looky-doo.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to watch that one.
I'm gonna not. Maybe. We'll see. I also have MLB this year, so
yeah.
I'm committing harder than I normally do to the MLB.
The problem with Formula One races is they always take place very early in the morning.
Yeah, aka not our time zones.
Yeah, like Sunday at
probably
6 a.m.
Probably what I'll do is I'll sub to the Formula One subreddit and catch highlights.
Yeah. All right, that's me. What about you? What have you been doing?
Looking at Formula One stuff now. Been playing the huge, as the kids say, and I was yeeting on it.
Yeeting.
Finished Detroit. That's officially off the list.
Yeah. Final thoughts and conclusions.
Really good game. Play it if you get the chance.
Yeah,
if you have a PlayStation 4, I think it should kind of fall into must-play category.
It's weird because it is definitely like a unique experience, but it's not necessarily replayable because like...
Right. I think for me, you have your pinnacles, Horizon, God of War, yada, yada. And I think Detroit is... Like, if those are S tier, this is the double A tier.
Mm-hmm. Like I
doing it S, double A, B, C, D, yeah, yada, yada. I think that's also a car reference. But... Those ones are like the S class, like perfect. If you own a PlayStation and haven't played them, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
And then Detroit's like super good, but it's not a console defining title.
No, it's almost like a really good proof of concept, maybe.
It's eerily too good to be a proof of concept, even though it is a proof of concept, kind of. Not that they haven't done this stuff before with Heavy Rain and whatever, but this was so good that when I finished it, I snapped you the ending of it, and I went, I finished it Monday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think I finished it Monday because I had Monday off because of the holiday.
I was really surprised actually when I said something to Samantha about it. I was like that you were finishing it because like you were nipping at it, chunk, and then you got to a certain point and you're just like. Zoop all the way through it.
Right, which I'm also known to do when it comes to us in gaming of, all right, cool, I've been taking my time getting to 75% and the game is done. And you're like, wait. I just kind of reach a point where I'm like, I need to finish this. And it's done.
Yeah.
It was, I had an ending that none of the other people I know had.
Yeah.
I had 0% the whole way through that.
Yeah.
So it was definitely... It's fun when we can have the conversations we had about it, where you have somebody else that's played it with you, and you can go, "Holy shit, what happened here? What did you do? Wait a second, so and so's not dead." Like,
yeah, it was a fun game. Like, it was fun game to have that discussion specifically because, like, you know, you went through the fucking river. I don't even know what that looked like.
Right,
like, I have no concept of what that even looked like because I didn't even see that. Like, that's the fun part about it. Yeah, I really like that game. And I hope they do more stuff like that. The like you, it's a waste to go through and like watch all those like stupid videos and stuff like that.
Right.
But if you thumb through it, it's kind of obvious that it was definitely like a work of love, kind of like it was very much a passion project.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the most recent time that I can think of referencing what we've talked about before with our Fallout 4 experience of all of us sitting around and playing it at launch, then all looking at each other and be like, holy shit, you did this, you did that, where are you? And then doing the same thing through a story-based game that just makes you choose your own adventure, essentially. And you're like, wait a second, you did what?
Yeah.
How did, what? Oh, okay. And, you know.
I don't want to stay on top, but I just can't believe that everyone died and you just ended up with Kara alone. Like, that's so soul crushing.
I survive. I'm a survivor, Matt.
Yeah, and then Marcus too.
I'm a survivor,
Jesus.
Matt.
Jesus.
Me and my Gestapo army
Yeah,
of androids will high kick march our way across the human race, and we will become a people.
You did become a people.
Hold on, let me rip off my sensor. Anyway, I also played Anthem. We can complain a whole bunch about Anthem, but I'm sure we will hopefully not talk about it this week. So
we touched on it a little bit.
All right, we'll save it for then.
Just a brief overview. I kind of want to touch on it more of the fact that I find how polarizing it is, and the fact that it's not because of the game itself, but just the questions it's brought up in the community as a whole.
Agreed. Been playing Apex. Played Drunkio Kart or Drunk Mario Kart on Saturday.
I was going to say, what the fuck's Drunkio Kart? Is that like a name for it, or
that's what I called it?
Okay, I mean, it's a good name. It's fun. It makes you ask the question, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm playing Mario Kart drunk. It's a great time. You should do it.
I drank like those 3 beers the other day, and I'm just like, I don't think I can ever get drunk.
I drank a third of a bottle of vodka.
I just feel like garbage.
I felt good. I felt fine. I felt fine. Well, to be fair, I felt fine until I realized I needed a new shower curtain. Because Todd decided to remove mine from its current place of standing, which is not in the shower.
He looked at that shower curtain, and that shower curtain looked back at him, and he said, "Fuck you."
I don't know how much of the story I'm allowed to tell, but apparently he pissed so hard he passed out. He got lightheaded and passed out from pissing.
That's why you don't force it.
And fell backwards into my shower and brought the curtain with him.
I'm going to go with the fact that he thought the curtain was staring at him, and he killed him.
I like that story better because it sounds more badass, but knowing him, nah.
Good story either way.
Yeah, then played some more Apex. Still doing that stuff. I got 3 wins now.
Oh,
Woo.
wow.
I played Tetris 99.
Oh, God. Did you get a win in that?
No. The highest I have placed in that is 13th.
That's respectable in its own way, though.
It reaches a point because the speed is based on time that the game's been going on. And I'll make really dumb decisions and then be like, shit, I don't have the time to get myself out of this. And then it starts going so fast and I'm like, I don't see the numbers in the matrix. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to try to survive as long as I can. Or I get knocked out in the first 5 because
someone focuses you.
8 people target me, dump everything. And I'm like, I was just playing Tetris and now my whole screen is a gray.
I'm curious. But then at the same time, I don't want to try it because I feel like I'll just get so disheartened because I'm not as good at Tetris as I think I am.
Oh, trust me. I thought and still think I suck at Tetris. My problem is I wish there was... I use the Joy-Cons. I don't have a Pro Controller. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if maybe I switched to a Pro Controller if it would feel better.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the controls, not the controls of the game itself, but those controllers for that game, I'm just like, they leave me wanting.
Yeah.
I want a perfect controller to do it, and I just don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would be the Pro Controller. I don't know. I have to hook one up and see. But
yeah.
Different discussion. And then I have been grinding Football Manager.
With or without?
With.
With, yeah.
We have pushed through the January transfer window. We are now right before the knockout stage of Champions League.
So where's everyone standing at the moment?
I am in 3rd or 4th. Kenny is 2 spots behind me, 3 spots behind me.
Mm-hmm.
As far as our league is. Champions League, we're in knockout stages, so I just have to beat my team, the team I'm playing. He's in Europa League knockout stages. He has to beat that team. His team is currently being riddled with injuries. My team just doesn't want to fucking put a goddamn ball in the net. So, we're working on it.
Sounds like a standard football manager year.
Yep. I bought 3 players during January to try to fix some problems I was having. So far, they've been fine. They're not exactly solutions, but they're good stop fixes for the time being. Sold a couple players, I'm making moves, and I'm playing chess. Not 3D chess, though. I can't, small chess. I also finished my book, The Killer Collective. Good book. Recommend.
Would recommend. Was there a sequel?
Not that I know of, and it ends without their leading to one.
Oh, good for them.
And I went, I almost in my car as I was finishing up was just going to be like, go you. Way not to bait it out.
Such a rare treat.
It is. It was like, this whole story's complete. Hercules. Like, it just felt good. It was done. Nice. It was over. I'm currently reading a new book. I'm only like in chapter 3 or something. I don't remember what the name of it is. We'll see if it sticks. I'm trying to get to what roughly might be 1/3 of the way through, to see if I want to give the book, give it a third, see if I want to keep going, and then either dump out or finish it and then move on to the next one. So if I get to a third, I'll remember to write what the name of it is, but otherwise. Watching basketball, watching soccer, going to be watching Formula 1, and going to be watching baseball. That's a great time. It's one of my favorite seasons now. Pitchers and catchers have reported. Spring training games have begun. And we will, in a month, have Major League Baseball back again. Eventually, Bryce Harper will sign somewhere. Here we go.
I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's important.
But that month of real baseball is so far away, man.
Yeah.
If I wanted something to, I don't know, fill my time since then, where could I find things?
You could go get, I was going to say something ridiculous, but no, you could go find new releases at Gamers 2 by Nate.
It's not by me. I stole a list from somebody else.
But spoken by Nate.
That's true. I first need to redact a statement that I made last week.
Okay.
Trials Fusion isn't out. I'm pretty sure I said it was out last week.
Okay.
It's going into a beta, I think, this weekend.
It's out
and then it releases, either next week or the week after. But
I believe it's the 26th.
Okay, so that's next week. But I was wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. Don't go to stores harassing employees.
Are you sorry? Or are you sorry you got caught?
I'm sorry that if anybody that listened to this podcast walked into a store and harassed a Best Buy employee about Trials Fusion being out because Nate Killian said it should be.
That'd be a fucked up world.
I would also love to hear that story. Somebody at Best Buy was like, I had a person come in and tell me that you said a game was out. I'm like, who the fuck is listening to this podcast? Be impressive, though.
Be like, well, why didn't you give them the game?
I said it was out and give it to them. Do I not have sale rights in this country? I say it's out. You hand them the game. We move on. Number 2, which is actually number 1 in terms of things actually coming out, is Yakuza Kiwami for PC.
Cool name.
Daggerhood for the Xbox. Farm Together for the PS4.
Another farming game? Nice.
Yeah, and as we all know, Gamers 2 policy is to shout out any farming game that we see on the new release list.
It's in the rule book.
It's in the rule book. We have a code of ethics. Farming games, step 1. Number 5, almost there, the platformer for Switch. Number 6 is Anthem for PS4, Xbox, and PC. Number 7 is Dirt Rally 2 Deluxe Edition, PS4, Xbox, and PC. I believe the regular edition comes out next week. Queen's Quest 2 Stories Forgotten Past, PS4 and Xbox. I assume that's similar to King's Quest. I assume. Quest for the Golden Duck for the Switch. And the last game is Unexplored for the Xbox and the PS4. And because Matt loves Nintendo so much, I will let him begin this week with what is the biggest and best news headlines. Big, beautiful headlines.
That's it from going forward. It'll be big, beautiful headlines.
BBH, folks, BBH. Don't type that in a search bar. You might get something weird. Same thing if you type in the acronym for Big Beautiful Wall. Moving on. I make that joke way too much at work.
Numero uno. Let's get the shocker from this week out of the way.
Shocker.
Reggie Fils-Aime, the president.
Fees away.
The president of Nintendo of America is retiring. Reggie has worked for Nintendo for about 15 years, most of that time as president and COO, excuse me. He'll be departing Nintendo of America on April 15th, and his role will be filled by Doug Bowser. No, I'm not making that up. The new president for Nintendo of America is named Doug Bowser. So fantastic. Anyway, Kotaku has a wonderful piece on Reggie's history at Nintendo written by Chris Kohler. Definitely check it out. I'll leave you with an awesome Reggie quote. He said this on stage at E3 in 2004.
Fuck you.
When he was Nintendo's VP of Sales and Marketing. Quote, "My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names, and we're about making games." End quote. Reggie and his tenure at Nintendo will be remembered fondly by a great many, and it sounds like this is a true retirement, as he said, quote, "As I look forward to departing in both good health and good humor, this is not game over for me, but instead leveling up to more time with my family, my wife, family, and friends." End quote.
I think we both say best wishes and thank you for what you've done, because since 2006, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, the ride Nintendo's been on.
Yeah, which 2006 is also the year that he became.
Right, that's what I mean.
Okay,
from like when his prominence started. Like 2004 is Iwata.
Yeah.
So 2006 on, you're like one bump, named the Wii U,
and recovered fairly quickly, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, like where everybody's like the Wii U will sink you. They only took a dip in the water. They're like, I see icebergs. I only get grazed by it. I don't sink my ship on it.
This ain't no Titanic.
Yeah, he's it's gonna be weird seeing like directs and stuff without him in it.
Yeah,
especially the E3 one coming up. It's not gonna he'll definitely probably cameo himself a bunch of places now. Even though it's true retirement, I can definitely see him just being like in the background of weird shots now.
Just like walking across the stage.
Yeah, like Doug Bowser's having the conversation, right? And there's just like he's in a room with a window, and you see Reggie like looking in through the window, like, you better not be messing this up. And like points at Doug and is like, and then just kind of walks away. And like, that's all it is, like a 30-second moment. Like, that's all we want you to do, Reg.
That'd be great.
Have fun.
He was definitely a rare breed because he was the company lead who also had like very good stage presence, which is not
and also very good fan interaction.
Yeah. What was the other weird thing about him? Oh yeah, the interesting thing, Doug Bowser literally is following in the same footsteps as him. He was also VP sales marketing, moving into president COO. Yeah. Did you see the photo that's going around of him?
I've seen a couple.
Yeah, he's like, it was like when he first started working for Nintendo as VP of sales and marketing. It's him with his thing saying, "Hi, thanks, whatever. I'm Doug Bowser," and he's got like Mario and Luigi tied up behind him.
Right. Yeah. There's that one. I think somebody photoshopped that sign to say like bad things about Mario and Luigi and stuff like that. What we are hoping for, kind of in the internet land, is that Nintendo doubles down on the Bowser thing.
I hope so.
Anytime they have a direct and they have to talk about a Mario game, he just shits on Mario the entire time. It's like, yeah, Mario's got this other game where once again I've taken his princess and he just won't leave me alone. And it just kind of
just won't let her go.
Just kind of keeps going on about all that stuff. It would be entertaining. And then there was another comment about why Reggie retired. You remember the commercial? I think it was a commercial he did way back where they're talking about doing a Nintendo World Championship or something, and he's in the boardroom and he's like, "We're going to do a Nintendo World Championship, and I'm going to compete." And one of the guys in the boardroom was like, Reggie, you can't compete. You work for Nintendo. And he's like, not anymore. And he has this kid, and he's like, meet your new president. So it's like, now Reggie can compete.
Fantastic.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to hopefully see him still in the ecosystem, even if he's not working in the ecosystem.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to disappear the way that
I can't remember his name either. I know who you're thinking of, though.
Oh, God, not Sean Layden.
The other Sony guy.
Boyden?
I can't remember what his name is.
We met him. Shit. Oh, no. Sean Layden. We'll get there. I'll look it up in a bit. But yeah, it'll be nice to hopefully see him sticking around. Anyway, moving on. Number 2. Another patent registered by Sony was published on February 21st that further hints at backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 5. This particular patent is for, quote, simulation of legacy bus operation for backward compatibility, end quote, and goes hand in hand with the previous patent of CPU ID impersonating. If you need any further proof that this is for the PlayStation 5, then one of the inventors on the patent is Mark Cerny, the gentleman who was the lead architect of the PS4 and speaks in the most soft voice you could ever wish to hear software technology spoken about.
I mean, as terrible as it was when he gave us the breakdown on the PS4, I'd be really disappointed if we don't get another one.
Well, it was on the Pro, wasn't it? It wasn't on the 4. They left him for the Pro.
No, I think he did the first when they first announced the PS4.
He might have done the breakdown, but he was not the point man during the PS4 moment. When he was the point man during the PS4 Pro moment.
Yeah, they brought him out for the original PS4 to explain like their goals or whatever with the design or some crap, whatever it was. Okay, number 3. Paradox Interactive has partnered with Microsoft to bring mods to their games on Xbox, making them only the second developer to do so. Paradox Mods platform launched yesterday, and as of now, only supports Surviving Mars, but is expected to bring support to all of their games that are on Xbox. Apparently, any mods uploaded to their platform on PC will directly port to Xbox with no pre-approval necessary. Mods will only be removed if flagged inappropriate by players. I'm really appreciating this because this is the stuff that when Microsoft announced that they were what's the word I'm looking for? When they were integrating Xbox and Windows together, essentially, this was the stuff that I was expecting to see. Was that, you can put mods on PC and they'll automatically work on Xbox, that type of thing. And I'm really glad that we're starting to see the fruits of those labors. Now, if only other developers would take advantage of it, that would be lovely.
But it's not easily portable. Boom, got him.
Got him.
It would be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm curious how that works, like how well that works.
Well, I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the Fortnite beta that PlayStation has, but no other developer seems to be able to get to work.
Yeah.
So, not that Xbox will treat it the same way, but I mean, they got to get somebody to try first before they open to everybody.
Yeah. Faux shizzle.
Number 4 is the one that I wanted because I get to shit on it.
Oh, I wrote one specifically for you later on.
Ooh.
That actually, I think it's going to work out.
Ooh, perfect. I didn't even read that far down. I literally went with the first one. All right, so number 4. Dreams, the infamous title from Media Molecule, is actually coming out. Just kidding. It's coming out in a, quote, creator early access, end quote, form in spring of 2019, according to Sony. Early access Dreams will cost $29.99 and contain a suite of certain tools and tutorials on how to use them, but not the planned story campaign. They describe the early access version on the game as limited edition, so I'm curious if that means something along the lines of the price tag going up on full release. My guess is no.
You think they'll leave it at 30?
Oh no, I bet the price tag goes up.
Yeah.
But when they say limited edition, I think the price tag goes up because it's the full release. They're calling early act. They're not going to call it early access. They're going to call it limited edition and do all this other bullshit marketing for it. When you want to know what I wouldn't be horribly surprised to see?
What's that?
No story mode.
No story mode?
They hope that this succeeds to the point
To
where they can just kind of push the story mode to never actually happen, air quotes, not happen. And they just go, well, now we're out of early access because you guys have received this so well. So here's the full release. Now it's available for $40 in retail stores if you haven't bought it yet. But seeing how we've already gotten the majority of our money from you gullible fucks at $30, we're just going to continue on.
I think
that's like the real negative view on it.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have a negative view on Dreams.
I'll take the more positive one.
As you always do, Matt, take the high road, you white knight.
I'm not high roading or white knighting.
No, you're just slightly higher roading.
I think, I mean, if they genuinely like keep it under $60, like if it's $30, then like maybe 40 or with the campaign, I think that'd be interesting and fair because it's cheap for what it is, at least what it seems like. But what was I gonna say? Did you play Little Big Planet? Did you play their other games?
I played moments of 1, 2, and 3.
They didn't really have like a story campaign. I mean, they had a campaign.
They had a campaign because the way you had to get certain objects was to go through and get the bubbles of them.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really like. It wasn't like you could throw together any created levels and it would be
yes, but you also there was a developer created like story.
Yeah.
That wasn't all just community maps. There it was there. It just wasn't. It wasn't like this fleshed out craziness.
Yeah, I'm just.
It was just
sure.
like a platforming.
Yeah.
Because in that one there wasn't really anything to do other than the platforming, unless you like ISO'd the vehicles down and everything like that. But
I'm just curious as like what our expectations are supposed to be.
For a story, I think they need to dump it and just not do it. I literally think they shouldn't do a story.
Just release it as is, $30, go ham.
30, 40, whatever. If they want to say 30 and then make the full price 40, so that way they can get the early in people, that's fine. Say it's $40. You might be shooting yourself in the foot if you say it's 60. Not like truly shooting yourself in your foot, but you're going to have a lot of skeptical people that are going to wait for it to go on sale. So if you cut it to 40, even if you cut it to 50, I think 40 is your sweet spot though. Like Far Cry New Dawn is $40.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say that you can push all that out, but instead of putting in a single player story, you put in developer made levels.
Yeah.
Like let your devs create levels and put them as not downloadable content, so they're not questionable if the players want to play them. Like, no, force them into the game as like default maps are stuff, or like default games are stuff that your guys created, and then the community market. But just don't bother with the story.
My theory is that they're releasing it as early access at $30 because they're trying to get a feel for how people are going to react to what it is, and then they're going to adjust accordingly.
Right, which is what I agree with.
Yeah.
It's just there's the negative connotations that could mean that they over adjust and like, well, people really like this idea, crank it up to money thousands.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is Sony kind of, so like I don't expect them to take the EA route as far as like the money goes, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm curious. I'll probably maybe look into it a little bit when it comes out and then go from there. I mean, in reality, I probably won't buy it and I probably won't do anything with it because like I like the idea of it. I think it looks cool, but I'm not the type of person to make levels. Like that's just
right.
Not who I am.
My problem would be the exact same thing. I would enjoy one of us having it, I think, and having the night that I keep harassing you about that we don't do other than tonight when we hang out.
Yeah.
Is having a hangout night of
where we can all just like fuck around on games and
right,
chill.
But either like, oh, we all hang out and watch anime, we all do trivia, and then like we just continue to hang out and you and I blitz through like random creative maps that have been like sort by new and then just look through the top, 5 or like top rated 5 and just see what people are doing in the game and be like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like if
That's
there's a good
cool.
community that pops up making levels, then it would warrant buying it just to
just to play all that.
Just to do the Mario Maker side, like that
Right.
type of thing. All right. Let's move on, I guess.
Listen, we can't talk about Dreams for the 6th year in a row.
It's gonna be
Crackdown 3 though.
You remember when like the Duke Nukem thing was like a huge joke, like, oh, this game's in perpetual development, blah blah blah.
Right.
And now, like, how many games have been in development for over 5 years? Or
Final Fantasy 15.
So many.
Crackdown. Dreams. Death Stranding will be.
Anthem. Needed more development
Yeah, Anthem
time.
needed to be in development for 5 years. Unfortunately, 4 wasn't enough.
I was going to say something, but I was like, I think it's been in development longer than that.
No, I think it was shown at E3 2014.
Yeah,
so
but I
that's
think
5
they were
years.
working on it.
Is it 14 or 15?
I think they said they worked on it for 6 years.
I think. Oh wait, no, maybe it was shown in 16. It was half the team though, because the other half had Andromeda.
Yeah,
we can shit on Anthem.
We'll get to that later.
Anthem's going to be a bad discussion if we start into Anthem. Can we move that to last?
It is last.
Perfect.
Back in January of 2017, Microsoft canceled an Xbox One exclusive by the name of Scalebound, made by Platinum Games.
Yep.
Well, rumor is that Scalebound may find a second life as a Nintendo Switch exclusive. Scalebound was intended to be an action-adventure game with dragons, magical powers, and a stylish protagonist wearing headphones. Switch.
My favorite part is that is literally not wrong.
I know, right?
Like, that sounds ludicrous. That's exactly what the trailer was.
Yeah.
Dragons, magic, and a dude wearing headphones.
I couldn't remember what the game is until I like someone mentioned the headphones in their article, and I was like, oh, that was that motherfucker who was like, obviously this is a Japanese game.
Yeah, that was the dude wearing
like
Beats by Dre,
yep.
jumping on a Drake and being like, I'm flying out of here, laser bolt.
Yep. Switch could use some exclusives of this kind, and it's not the first time Nintendo has helped out Platinum Games. It's also helping out with funding for Bayonetta 3.
Platinum and Nintendo have a good relationship.
Oh, shizzle.
And it's not just Bayonetta. They have another one, too, with them, too. I can't remember another one, too, with them, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Switch could use some more games like that, I think. Like, outside of... They have a very strong... I don't want to necessarily... I guess it would be indie. They have a very strong, like, indie culture. The eShop seems strong. Obviously, Nintendo makes spectacular games. They need some, like... I don't know if you'd call them, like, Platinum Games a AAA.
They probably operate in the AA space.
But, like, they need more of those type of games that maybe appeal to, like, a teen or an M rating.
How do I reach these kids? Number 6. This year's Game Developers Conference is shaping up to be very interesting. We already have interesting announcements planned from Xbox and Nintendo, and now we can add Google to the list. Google has sent out invites for its own GDC press conference, which is rumored to be a game streaming service. It's really no surprise, as Google's Project Stream seemed to be a solid success last year, so naturally Google will want to move forward before the game streaming landscape gets too crowded.
Oh, shizzle.
Yep. It was cool that they're going to be there. I assume it'll be more about
maybe what their plans are going forward.
Yeah, I assume it'll be more about Project Stream and stuff, and being. I wouldn't be horribly surprised if they're like, and it's available right now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised about that either.
I'm just curious how that's going to work. I mean, I wonder if, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if, like, they're going to partner specifically with Ubisoft because, like, they did the Assassin's Creed thing, and Ubisoft made a specific point the past, like, 2 years to bring it up as far as, like, that being the future they want to look into.
Right.
It's just the streaming service landscape is it's playing out differently than I had expected before, and now it's like it looks like it's going to be way more segmented than I would have thought initially, but I always look at things with like rose-colored glasses initially. Like, oh, everything's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be wonderful. We're gonna stream games everywhere. It's, like,
Yeah.
And realistically, companies are like, no, you can only use my games on this service. Like,
yeah, money. It's funny, and I want to just not the Google thing, but speaking of what the Xbox and Nintendo have been doing, there was talk that Xbox is planning on bringing Games Pass to Nintendo and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw numerous industry pundits called it. I'm like, that's not a bet. Like that is writing on the wall, blatant obviousness. Like,
yeah,
that's like me betting on the entire roulette wheel. Yeah, I'm gonna win. Like who would have been stupid enough for you to take up against that bet? Somebody that doesn't know? Like that'd be one thing, but that was my only gripe with that. Somebody's like called that. I'm like, no shit. That's not a question if that was gonna happen. But also very cool.
It would be. It's hard for me to believe that they would. It seems too good to be true, to a certain extent.
It does, but it's also your rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, like
this is right where they would work.
It would work really well. It'd be fantastic. It would, but it's just like, no, that's too good. Like,
it's just the question is the technology part of it, where it's like, yeah, cool, Game Pass works, but like, can Sea of Thieves handle Switch? Can Crackdown handle? So can Forza 4 handle Switch? There's a line that they'll have to kind of figure out with themselves about like what can operate where situations.
I think the advantage comes in is the what's the resolution on the Switch screen?
Docked or undocked?
Well, docked it's 1080p, right?
It reses up to that, yeah, or 900, whatever.
Mm-hmm. So
undocked it's 720.
Okay,
I think that's what it was. Or docked it's 720 and undocked it's like 560. It's something weird like that.
Yeah. So that's less resolution than a Xbox One.
Right. Yeah, it's noticeably technically graphically less powerful than that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because when you start seeing games that were developed by Nintendo versus games that weren't developed by Nintendo knows what it's doing with that amount of graphics to make things still look amazing. Zelda, Marios, and stuff like that. And then you see somebody else that made something, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we ported it over to the Switch." You're like, this doesn't look that good, and you're like, "Well, that's why." They don't have
where I was getting at is basically, I feel like the Switch would stream games better than it would run them on its own if there's a server, if there's a backend involved. Potentially.
That also horribly depends on internet connections, the XYZ, running over wireless, not Ethernet. There's hamperings there as well.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7. The fight between Epic's Game Store and Steam is probably just getting started, so we'll try to keep you updated with anything of interest. With that being said, we have a small update on Steam. Valve has announced that it will be retiring the video section from Steam. Valve said, quote, "In reviewing what Steam users actually watch, it became clear that we should focus our effort on offering content that is either directly related to gaming or is accessory content for games or software sold on Steam. As part of this refocus, we have retired the video section on the Steam Store menu with an expectation that video content is discovered via the associated game or software store page or through search, user tags, recommendations, etc." End quote. Any videos that you may have previously purchased will remain available, obviously. But yeah, just them refocusing on games.
And so it all begins.
Yeah, this is... I kind of took it that way, where it's like, okay, they're starting to redirect their focus and making small adjustments, which it's going to be really boring if that's all they do. If they just keep making little minute changes, like do something big, do something exciting.
And we're going to turn this knob over here 13 degrees. There we go. And then we're going to turn this one over here just 4 degrees. Yeah, there we go. Now, these two knobs always need a friend, need a third friend here. It's just Bob Ross of fucking soft. Just stop it. We need somebody that's going to take the whole paint can and just throw it on the canvas.
We need a Gallagher smashing watermelons.
Well, we need a Gallagher or a 70-year-old Picasso when he just can't paint himself anymore.
Ooh. Whoa.
I'm just saying. I'm saying facts, man. He got like crazy in his old age. Number 8. Hold on while I just check something real quick. Perfect, not there. Number 8. Kotaku hit us with more layoff rumors that have since been confirmed. This time, the layoff train has stopped at ArenaNet, the makers of Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. How did the train not start here?
I know, right? Actually, how old are those games now? Guild Wars 2 is like
old.
Like
and Guild
really
Wars
old.
is...
That can't even be running anymore.
It might be.
I'm going to look it up while you're talking.
Okay. The CEO of NCSoft, who owns ArenaNet, emailed the following to their employees. Quote, "Our live game business revenue is declining as our franchise age. Delays in development on PC and mobile have created further drains against our revenue projects, while our operating costs in the West have increased. Where we are is not sustainable and is not going to set us up for future success." End quote. According to the emails, the plan is to restructure with NCSoft's and ArenaNet's publishing divisions merging and cutting costs across the companies. As of now, there has been no word on how many employees will be laid off, but according to Kotaku, ArenaNet told employees that it will be giving out 2 months of severance with bonus time based on tenure. Interesting.
I'm not seeing any note of any sort of end date, so it might still be running.
I would be playing that instead of Guild Wars 2. Run my 55 monk around with Shield of Judgment on and do Drax runs. Anyway, that's completely stuff that people aren't going to... Fissure of Woe.
Yeah.
Ritualist runs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still going.
Huh. It's alive and kicking. Well, it's alive. I mean,
that's crazy. That is crazy. I wonder if I could find my old account.
There can't be many people there, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I can probably find my old account. I have to install the game, though, which might be the bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so fascinating.
I think my discs are upstairs.
I don't even have a disk drive on my computer anymore.
I purposely keep one in just because I never know.
I think I have a portable one sitting around. That's just so weird. So weird the times we live. It's crazy.
You kids get off my lawn. I got discs.
Don't touch my discs.
I'm gonna take these discs and throw these discs at you. You've seen the strong bad floppy drive hard drive argument, right? Yeah. Continue. This is a floppy drive.
Speaking of old games, we got a little fun historical story for you. I tried to keep it brief, although you could definitely go into detail on this.
I'm going to take a nap.
There's a game releasing 25 years after its initial launch was supposed to happen.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Got him.
My favorite is when I can just catch you right off guard slight enough that you chuckle before you can even continue reading.
In the early 1990s, a game called Hardcore was supposed to release on Sega Genesis. But it ended up being canceled because the Genesis was on its last leg. The game was essentially complete, though, and recently some people went hunting for the old title. It'll be releasing in 2019 on PS4 and Vita, while retro console maker Analog will be building... They will. They will be bundling Hardcore with their Genesis remake called the Sega SG. The interesting thing about Hardcore is that it was developed by Digital Illusions, which would go on to become EA Dice. Hardcore is a run-and-gun shooter with large, detailed levels and a fast pace. So I guess you could say it's the precursor to the Battlefield games. Really old precursor.
Yep. And Pong was the precursor to Call of Duty.
Exactly.
That dot was just bullets being exchanged between two soldiers, keeping them away from the... I'm not doing this. I can't keep it. I just know. Cool. Interesting. It's always funny when you hear the old game stories like this. You know, they find cartridges buried in a time capsule in the middle of the desert.
Yeah. Yada. Landfill and wherever. What was that?
That are then worth $1,000+ if you got one.
Jesus Christ, so crazy.
Yep. dumb, honestly.
It is. I mean, it's
cool.
It's cool to preserve it just for like historical reasons, but
I don't mean this hardcore thing is dumb. I mean saying that a cartridge of that ET game was $1,000.
Yeah, that's definitely dumb.
That part's dumb.
Yeah.
Plus, stuff like that works out well for the classic consoles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So number 10, here we go. Dark Knight reference for you. Anybody remember that Joker moment?
There's at least one in every episode.
Yeah, there's usually more than that. Some of them on purpose. Other ones, not. I already did the Batman voice when I did the joke about Catman. So, yeah, we're moving on. Number 10. Matt, do you remember that Ubisoft game called Skull and Bones that you said you were actually interested in?
Yes.
Do you remember that one that is basically the ship from Assassin's Creed folded into its own game?
You're missing a word there.
Ship combat?
I was hoping that I thought I screwed you with my Ron Burgundy updates.
Yeah, no, I just skipped over it. The one that is basically the entire ship combat from the Assassin's Creed franchise folded into its own game. The one that was supposed to come out in the fall of 2018 but was delayed into 2019 and still doesn't have a fucking release date. The game that had a beta announced but was never given any dates set for said beta. You remember all that?
I do.
What if I told you? You can have the red pill or the blue pill.
What happens if I take them both at once?
The game is getting a TV show. That's what happens if you take both of them at once. Skull and Bones is getting a TV show. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Ubisoft is working with Atlas Entertainment to make a, quote, female-driven drama set in the lawless frontier of the Indian Ocean at the end of the golden age of piracy in the 1700s, end quote. In case anybody's curious, piracy is still going on, both in the ocean and the internet. This Skull and Bones TV show joins the Just Dance movie and the Division movie already in development, except the game isn't even out yet. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Ballsy.
You know what movie we should make, Matt? The Kingdom Hearts 3 movie.
I forgot the Division was getting a movie.
Same.
That could be good if they did it right.
I wanted them to do a TV show.
TV show would be better.
Like Netflix style TV show, Amazon, whoever.
Yeah.
Not cable TV because you can't do what I want you to.
Mm-hmm. It seems more timely. The Division scenario.
Right, because you can tell it in episodes.
Yeah.
You don't have to cram it all into a movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it based on what the game was, you have episodes to tell.
Yep.
But if you do it like the movie is, you're like, cool, bad guy, do bad thing. Oh, virus, fight, kill. Oh, I killed bad. Oh, bad guy escaped. Division movie 2. Dun 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 dun. Like,
I don't know.
Battlefield music end trailer.
I don't know why, but it really annoys me that they're doing a Skull and Bones TV show before the game even we even know when the game's coming out.
Right.
Like, this is not an established IP. No one knows what the fuck this is.
What if? You're going to have to help me remember the name of this game that I want to reference.
Okay.
It was a show on... I got to remember now. So what if Skull and Bones was like Defiance?
I was going to say Defiance was the one you were thinking of.
Yep. What if? Watch the show, then sail on the mission. Hate your life the entire time because it failed with Defiance.
I don't know. I just
saying, possibilities.
It's funny because Ubisoft is like kind of towing the line between making good games and turning into EA to a certain extent.
Okay, yeah. That second part's important.
Because
to a certain extent.
Yeah, like they're like in this, there's like a huge no man's land in between, like, I don't know, wherever. And they're like, we kind of want to make that, like, we want to make that ridiculous money, but we kind of have to stay somewhat, loyal to our fan base. So let's try to make good games, but also try to make more money by doing things like having TV shows and like, which inevitably they've done this before. They did Prince of Persia. They did Assassin's Creed. Was there any other ones in there? I think that's it, right? And those weren't what I would call necessarily successful. They were okay. Not like critically, but like financially.
Yeah. Financially, they weren't bad steps into the water.
No, it's just it's definitely one of those like counting their chickens before they hatch situations.
I don't even know if they're doing that or if they're just like, screw it, let's not make the game anymore.
Honestly, I'm confused by this myself because like I don't understand where the complication is with the Skull and Bones game. Because like when they first showed it, I was like, okay, it's Assassin's Creed ship combat.
My immediate thought is that they just want to try to get as far away from Sea of Thieves as they can.
Yeah,
that's my only immediate concern. Is they're like, we just had this, we just want to get away from that. So when the comparisons start coming, it's not as bad. Yeah. It'll happen still, but hopefully it's not as bad as if they were on top of it still. And it's also just great because when we were discussing stuff in our chat the other day, and I went, yeah, so the TV show, and I pretty much just saw through the phone via text, just your head just go, are you kidding? Like just the defeated head down, hand goes up, like, I can't. Why?
That was basically what happened, really. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, all right. I guess we'll hit up this quick little Anthem conversation. So Anthem officially released today.
Welcome to the second episode of the podcast.
There's a whole mess of stuff related to it. We'll just start with the reviews. As of me writing this, which was a couple hours ago on Friday, so like, I don't know, 6 o'clock, we'll say. Metacritic had the PC version, because that was the only one that had enough reviews to actually have a score displayed. Metacritic had it at 61 for a critic score and 3.8 for a user score. Most reviews say the same thing. It has potential, but its current state, it's underdeveloped. BioWare did release a 6 gig patch on day one that fixed and changed a good amount of things, but that in itself exemplifies kind of the problem.
Literally, when I read through those patch notes, I was at work and I saw the patch come out and I started reading through the patch notes. Yeah. And I was laughing. I'm like, I experienced 75% of what that patched.
Yeah. I mean, in one sense,
how?
It's like really, I mean, I don't know how to word it and not.
If you don't, I will.
Well, no, what I was going to say was I'm of two minds of that whole patch in general and just the work in general. Like, they've obviously done a lot since the criticism started coming in, which is impressive. But there shouldn't have been criticisms to begin with. Not right. Those ones.
Right. They've started band-aiding as fast as they can. Mm-hmm. But the amount of band-aids they've needed to do when this genre and type of game has almost a formula that has already happened in a bunch of other games is the inexcusable part.
Yeah. Yeah. On top of the whirlwind of opinions and debate going on, EA appears to be lashing out at reviewers. There's an Australian YouTuber claiming that EA blacklisted him for his negative review since he's a member of EA's Game Changers program. I know there's been some like comment disabling, comment deleting, post deleting, that type of crap going on. It's kind of fascinating seeing the commotion that Anthem is causing. Just thought I'd bring it up. Not so much about Anthem specifically, although I'm sure we'll end up maybe touching on it a little bit.
I don't want to touch on it too much.
But just like, it's almost like it's a focal point for like the state of the industry. And like, it's just kind of brought everyone's eyes to the same fact of like, games are coming out unfinished. Developers and publishers are like are blatantly trying to cash in on trends. Microtransactions in general, obviously. I don't know if there's any thoughts you have on that, anything you want to touch on.
If this released at the same time as Destiny 1, we wouldn't be shitting on it as hard as we are.
We wouldn't be, but it would still be in the same state because I mean, even if you compare, I mean, I love BioWare. Based on their previous work.
You love old BioWare.
Yes. But if Anthem had come out at the same time Destiny 1 had come out and I had played them both, Destiny 1 had its issues, but it was like a complete game for the most part.
Yeah.
So like it's bad that Destiny upon release it is like significantly better than what Anthem is in its current state.
Right. I just mean that if they came out at the same time, you would be able to. I think Destiny would still win out again.
Yeah,
but
less colored lenses.
If they released at the same time at their both release states, Destiny would win out again. But if you then allowed them to go through their 2-year cycle, roughly, when you get to the end of D1, and everybody's claiming it's great again, because they've done all this content update and patches and stuff like that, and you give Anthem a full year, you might be looking at a much harder conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
But in their terms of both their launches, they're bad. Anthem is worse.
Yeah.
And now that we're looking at it years removed from D1's launch, and we're comparing it that they would have been worse at that time, years later, and they're still that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah. It's been an intriguing situation for me because I am very biased on the whole BioWare thing, and I've watched a lot of really lengthy, in-depth reviews, and I've read a lot of stuff to try to divorce myself from that, like to figure out to find a common ground there. And it's like basically it comes down to like what Anthem does, what BioWare does in I guess the first year or something like that. Because I watched one of their live streams and they're like, oh, we the tools are in place and we can change things really easily. But then there's like fundamental issues with just the core of the game. And it's like, oh, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens.
There are giant, glaring fundamental problems that we could put an entire hour podcast out about Anthem's problems.
Yeah. All that aside, what do you think?
Oh, all right. I was going to keep going.
No, well, I know we don't really need to talk about Anthem.
Well, it's been I don't want to go.
Oh,
I was going to go tinfoil hat theory.
Okay.
But.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Let's talk about EA. Let's go tinfoil hat theory.
All right. So tinfoil hat theory. If you have listened before, I've gone into the tinfoil hat theory that I had about Respawn. I'll breach the idea again, and then I'll discuss what it means for BioWare. So the tinfoil hat theory in regards to Respawn was Respawn made Titanfall for EA. EA contracted Respawn. They didn't buy them yet. They contracted Respawn to make Titanfall. Titanfall did well. Then EA... Now I gotta think about this. EA bought... No. EA did not buy. EA went for Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
And it went, cool. You guys want to make Titanfall 2 for us? They said, sure. Titanfall's awesome. They made Titanfall 2. Then EA released Titanfall 2 between... Literally in a 3-week window, it went Call of Duty, Titanfall 2, Battlefield 4. EA shot itself straight in the foot. Now tinfoil hat time on purpose. They wanted Respawn as a studio, but their price would have been too high. So they put out their biggest IP to date to die against Call of Duty, a shooter, with also a shooter against their own Battlefield 4 shooter.
Mm-hmm. Which, arguably, Titanfall 2 is the best one out of all three.
It's the best, yeah. So, but not the biggest.
Yeah, but not the established IP.
Right, not the big name. So they basically put out, they had their one baby, then they kicked the other one to the curb and went, try to survive. Realized that baby realized it couldn't survive. So that baby's price went way down. And then EA went, hey, how about we buy you? We'll help you out financially. You become ours, yada, yada. So now the EA has lowered their price artificially and been able to bring them in cheaper than they probably would have pre-Titanfall 2. They now have Respawn, who now they can convince to not make Titanfall anymore, and hey, we have this Star Wars license. Do you guys want to make a Star Wars game? Mind you, they're also technically working on another game at this point, and they haven't started Apex. Now we reach BioWare. BioWare has done Inquisition, which I believe is their first time being like owned by EA.
Yeah, because that was the first time they used the Frostbite engine, and that in itself was a disaster.
Right. So they did Inquisition, which ups and downs. I liked it as a game.
Yeah,
but
I obviously liked it.
There were problems,
but
not glaring issues that we're looking at now. The Old Republic is a BioWare thing, but that existed before the deal with EA. Then you get Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda. Which, maybe the story was fine. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't play the game, and I don't have any interest to. But what happened to the animations and all this other giant problems? So now they've shipped, not necessarily an awful game to start. Then they shipped one that got ruined. And now EA BioWare are like, hey, we got this Anthem thing. And EA's like, all right, cool. We'll see. Then Respawn, meanwhile, in the background, mentions the name of a Star Wars game. Doesn't ever say anything about it. It has probably been working on Titanfall 3. Titanfall 3, whether or not it exists or does not, gets canned, in air quotes. And Apex comes out. This Apex game releases 2 weeks before Anthem. This Apex game, which their marketing strategy was to buy Twitch mindshare of top streamers, the easiest way in the world to get people to stare at your game that are gamers, and focus them on Apex. 2 weeks before you have this gigantic, another gigantic, like Apex is a game as a service, and then you have Anthem, another game as service game from the same publisher who is just shooting shotgun shells straight into its foot and wondering why it doesn't feel pain. Because it hits Anthem week, and now we're all here going, why would I play? So now BioWare stock is going to go down. And now EA can either ditch and close BioWare, as they've been loving to close studios lately. I don't know how many studios we've talked about them closing and shutting.
Yeah.
Or they can try to sell them to somebody and just get them out of there. Like, your wage bills are too high. We can't afford this production cost anymore because you guys can't make games that are good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So EA can scapegoat BioWare.
Or the other theory,
and start a fist fight where BioWare goes, you guys fucked us. And then, which if that statement actually happened, EA would get shut on all day because everybody loves to hate EA.
Yep.
Except for Apex, apparently, where everybody forgets that's an EA title.
Yep. Another interesting theory that they could end up doing is, so BioWare has this history with the Star Wars franchise. Just be like, now you guys you have to make a story-driven Star Wars game for us. Like, you have to make KOTOR 3. Get on that.
It might not even be KOTOR 3. What they would probably say is, clearly, a new IP didn't work for you guys. You can keep, like, half the studio if you want, like, a quarter of the studio, just trying to keep it alive and do the updates that you already have planned and stuff like that. But listen, we are on the brink of losing the Star Wars license, which is a giant bunch of money for our CEOs. So, seeing how we've canceled almost every other game that we've tried making with Star Wars, except for Battlefront and Battlefront 2, I know Respawn's working on this one that they've only told us the name of and not discussed anything else about. Would you guys be interested in it? And by the way, no, you're going to be interested in it because we can't let you fail again.
Interested? Wink, wink. Do it.
Yeah. So, tinfoil hat, EA screws Respawn, buys Respawn, Apex succeeds. EA buys BioWare, starts screwing it, then forces it to move in the direction it needs it to. stop with your own clever ideas. Let's make a fucking FIFA, Battlefront, whatever. Let's make Star Wars. Tinfoil hat.
I have a question, another follow-up question real quick. Someone at Respawn claims that EA knew nothing of Apex and that they were blindsided by what Apex was.
EA still chose... Yes and no. There's no way they were totally blindsided. I believe they could have been blindsided by maybe like a week's worth of time. So they might have been blindsided on that Monday before the Saturday that we're hearing Respawn say Apex is going to have a live stream on Monday and be out on Monday.
Yeah.
They might have been notified like a week ahead of time. Like the EA executives and people that needed to know were like, hey, we have this thing if you want to launch it. Like, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
We're good. We have everything. We'll flick buttons and it's good. But the problem is it's still an EA published title.
It's hard for me to believe that
EA still made the choice to shit on themselves.
Yeah, I'm saying like it's hard for me to believe that statement in general. Like EA's not going to keep track of what Respawn's working on. Their owned developer. Like they own them.
Well, because I think what their deal would be is they would only be concerned about the state of their Star Wars game. So like I don't think they're actually concerned about Titanfall 3 being a thing. So I think you can, if you're Respawn, I think you can smoke and mirror it.
So they're like, okay, you know, we have our A team, B team, A team's working on Star Wars, B team's working on another project, like a side project. And they're like, yeah, whatever, just get it done. Right,
and they could have even said they had A, B, and C teams, and just been like, A team's working on the Fallen Order, B team's working on a Titanfall 3 kind of thing. You know, we're not
C team's prototyping.
Yeah, we're super early in the Titanfall 3 thing, so we're not 100% positive we're going to continue with it. They're only doing that in like the spare time when they don't have anything to do for the Star Wars, and the C team's just, you know, like testing prototyping stuff for movement in certain things or whatever. And then it could just be any time that, like, if an EA exec showed up, they would just be like, yeah, you can't go in that room. And then Anthem.
Yeah.
Like, they still made, the problem is, even if they didn't know about it, or even if they knew about it, that's worse. If they didn't know about it, they still made the call.
Yeah. When they could have said, hey, we'll save it for
if they had the forethought that we all did based on like what we saw. And this is also the problem. We saw what was going to happen kind of with Anthem during the betas.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like how many problems there were. And we're like, you have a month, like the first one that came out that we played. You have a month and you have a lot of problems. And then EA went, they have a lot of problems. We need to make money. Because EA doesn't think.
Yeah.
They just go, dollars? By the way, their stock last I knew was down 10%. So, not exactly doing well.
Yeah.
Even with Apex. It boosted during Apex's time, but then Anthem dropped and then it went back down again 10%. So, tells you kind of the problem. But they would have seen Anthem's problems. But the problem is, I would have tried to hold Apex as a attempt of a get out of jail free situation.
So,
like, drop Anthem. Let Anthem run for like a month. And then at the end of March, or even better yet, like the week before Division comes out, or that Tuesday before, drop it then.
See, I think they should have done that, but different scenario. I think they should have been like, listen, we know you guys are looking forward to Anthem, but unfortunately it's not ready.
Or delay it. Yeah, or delay Anthem.
Out today to keep you satisfied. Apex.
Well, that would have been honestly the best move they could have done. Would have been like, so after these betas, we see that there's going to be a lot of problems. We need to go back to the drawing board and fix quite a few of these things. We're still planning a 2019 release for Anthem, but we're gonna put a tentative delay on it till June, because they could have that big moment at E3 where they drop Anthem during E3.
Yeah,
they could have that moment, or like out Tuesday. After all the conferences, like, boom, it's out Tuesday. There's Anthem. Continue. But, and then, yes, we understand. But hey, Respawn's been working on this really cool thing. So here's a battle royale for you. Boom. They've already pushed the Battlefield Battle Royale still isn't out either.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be stepping on anybody's toes if you did that and then just pushed Anthem. But no, instead we force Anthem because it's the end of the quarter and it needs to get out, except that it's also going to shit on your money. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's unwise.
Darth Plagueis the unwise. I don't get it.
I don't know.
So the last segment that we haven't had in a while.
Deals.
No.
Oh, shit, son.
We have a question.
Oh.
It's one that I hope you saw. Not the question, the information about. And I will get this question here in a second if I can click on the right things. Oh, no, not the right thing. Hold on. I'm getting there. Don't mind me. Eye is itching. So, Eric has written to us and would like to know what our thoughts are on the GTX 1660 Ti that has now come out. Basically, the question would be if you're still playing at a 1080p resolution, so there's not really going from a 970 to a 1060 or 970 to a 1660 Ti. Is it worth it if you're only playing at 1080? You get 2 gigs more RAM, and the upgrade is from DDR5 to 6. So,
I've looked into it enough to just skim benchmarks real quick to basically confirm where it sits in the lineup. And I think the price of it's $280. I think that's what it is. Let me just Google that real quick because that's what I was seeing, but I wasn't sure if that was $280. $280 is the price. I don't know. I have to think on it because that's a good price point, and it definitely has good performance at 1080p, but it's so close to what the 2060 is. Right. It's $350, and then you have to it's gonna go cheaper at some point.
Right.
So, and it's significantly more performance from a 2060.
Right. My thing would be to just go 2060. Also, you're only playing in 2080, but you still get the ray tracing in a 2060. When that becomes more prominent of a thing. Mm-hmm. When you still don't have that in a 1660.
Yeah. And my issue with what I don't necessarily like about the 1660 is the chip is cut down and they compensated for performance by speeding it up. So It's technically clocked faster than a 2060. And it's already running at peak performance. It's running at its high, its best, as fast as it possibly can. Whereas with a 2060, it's basically a little bit of the chip has been deactivated, and it's still running at normal clocks to what a 2070 is.
And you can still modify it.
Yeah, my 2060, it's supposedly its peak boost from the factory is 18 something. But when I just let it do its thing and clock itself, it runs reliably at 1930 it usually sits at, which is benchmarked. That's a stock 2070 performance.
Right.
So it's just it's not if it ever goes on sale for less than if it's $250 or less, good deal.
Right.
But as it stands now, it's too close to the 2060, I feel like.
Yeah, why not just get a 2060?
Yeah. The other thing, though, is AMD price dropped their Vega cards, which when they're on sale, they're a good deal for what they are, but they're power hungry and they create a lot of heat. So that's obviously the downside.
Right. And then you need a way to cool them and yada, yada.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our thought is 2060.
Yeah, I think it's worth the extra money.
And then even then you can still try to find it on a 2060 cheaper than that.
Yeah, and especially if you're at 1080p, the 970 can hold you off for a couple months until the 2060 goes on sale.
Yeah.
So
But you will. I mean, we know our 970 struggles, so
Yeah, it did.
you'll feel it, but it'll still. I think it would still behoove you to hold out a bit.
Yeah, I would say so. Especially, I mean, I don't know. Everything's been changing so fast recently. And then there's, not to get stuck talking for longer, but there's the rumors that the AMD's new Ryzen chips are going to be dropping in June, which might mess with computer part landscape.
Yeah, it'll mess once again with processors. Then Intel will have to answer, and here we go again.
Yeah. And then Intel is potentially jumping into the graphics market.
Right.
Like the actual graphics market, not the onboard bullshit.
Let's start a war.
I'm okay with that. I like cheap GPUs.
Same. I might have also already started a war. Androids rise up. Anyway.
Rise up.
Praise be.
RA9.
I'm going to go write it in my walls later. Anyway.
Little Detroit reference there.
Yeah,
People.
it's a callback to the first part of this episode. And now we're done. It's been a fun time. We will talk to you next week, and next week we'll have 2 episodes because it's the bonus episode for February.
Boner episode.
Matt and I will do the full episode with boners.
I don't think I could do that, to be honest with you.
Well, we wouldn't have to consult doctors. It's been under 4 hours. Anyway, bye-bye.